How's it going, YouTube? My name's ElbaNinja7, your resident Mistweaver monk. And guys, I streamed today and I got asked probably 50 times differently, how am I spending my bullion and how should we be spending our bullion as a Mistweaver monk? And I have to apologize to you guys that I didn't make a video like this sooner. I figured it would be good for me just to tell each person on a case-by-case basis, but now as time's going on, I know that a lot of people are looking for that information. So I figured now is better than never making this video. I just apologize it wasn't out before today. But this is what we're going to be talking about today is how to spend your bullion. And this isn't just going to be a week one guide. And it's not even a guide. It's just a week one helper. It's to help you make your own decision, basically. But it will be good for the next few weeks, like your first couple of purchases. This should help you kind of walk through those. But it's not perfect. It's just what I made in Photoshop and based on my own decisions and my own testing and gear and what I know is going to be strong this season. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do that, we're going to scroll down and I'm going to give a quick disclaimer. Since simming your character is very hard to do in the first couple of weeks, you know, you're just scavenging for item level basically. Of a tier due to a lot of items not being long-term, meaning like I have like a verse mastery piece, that's going to be replaced soon. I thought I would make a visual to walk you through my personal approach. And I say that, but there is like data behind this. Like this is not, I'm not just saying, oh, I like this item, pick it up. That's not what we're doing. But there is a disclaimer. I think it's important to make long-term decisions as well as ones that are helpful for you in the moment. So you need to plan out what your two like target raid trinkets are and your target mythic plus trinket or whichever form of content you do. Pick out your two trinkets that you want to shoot for and like that kind of thing and shoot for those and make those decisions now. However, getting a weapon in week one is like absolutely necessary. That's kind of what people do in vaults is they just hunt for weapons. Like they hope to get a weapon out of their first few vaults because it's such a massive stat boost. You get so much from your weapon that like that's just what people do is your weapon is the highest gain that you can get all at once. So definitely shoot for a weapon, and that is where we're gonna start off with this. Let's go all the way to the side. Now let's start from the start button. So number one, this is going to be available in my Discord, but do you already have a heroic plus track weapon from this season? Like for me personally, I got very lucky and I have a main hand and an offhand that both have very good substats for me that are both heroic track. Therefore, I would say, yes, I do already have a weapon that I'm happy with that can take me to the end game, at least until I get vaulted a weapon, or I can start spending my throwaway bullions, like my fourth bullion purchase or my fifth on a weapon. I'm happy to get there with the weapon I have currently. Therefore, I would move down yes, but we're going to pretend like you do not already have a weapon. If you don't have a weapon, ask yourself, do you care about your raid healing at all? Like, are you someone who just pushes Mythic Plus? Or do you like do raid and Mythic Plus with your guild? If you only care about Mythic Plus, a good option for you, and it's kind of freezing, a good option for you could be the Nimue staff. It could be. It's pretty equal with the other staff that I'm going to recommend. But if you only care about Mythic Plus, consider going the Nimue staff. It's an on use, but it's a haste mastery staff. So it's kind of like sus in the substat category, but it has an on use damage ability. So read up on Dreambinder and see if that staff is for you. If you want to have to press a button to get value out of your staff, if you want to have an icon on your UI all season for Dreambinder, look into this staff. And if it's for you, pick it up if you only do Mythic Plus. If not, if you're not sold on this weapon, this staff from Taros is excellent. It's haste main stat verse, I believe, which is just great in all forms of content. This is like the highest stat budgeted weapon that we can get this whole season. Haste verse, main stat verse, great in Mythic Plus, great in rating. Go with this staff. If you either do care care and amount about your raid healing, go this staff. Or if you only Mythic Plus and just don't want to have to deal with Dreambinder, that's fine. You're not crazy, trust me. Go with the Quake Detecting Seisma staff. Now, let's go back to the start. That's your weapon. Pick a weapon first if you don't already have one. However, if you're like me and you already have a weapon that can carry you for a couple of weeks until you can afford to buy one, I guess I should hold it like this. Then let's go down and let's start making our decisions after we have a weapon. So number one is, once again, do you care about raid healing in any capacity? Meaning, are you someone who doesn't have a guild, but you join pug groups and you care about your heroic parses? Then you would say yes, you do care about how your raid healing performs. Or if you're someone who is in a guild that is pushing for AOTC on every way, and you care about getting those boss kills, you would say yes. However, if you're someone like myself, who I literally do not plan on raiding, at least for these first couple of weeks of the tier, until I can start spending some more of my extra bullion that I have sitting around in the next few weeks. I am only doing Mythic Plus. My guild is taking this this season off, and I'm like one of 3 people playing, and I just don't really care to find another guild to push every week with. I will be doing heroic raids, but I do not care about my parsing at all. So I went down this category, and let's follow it just like we did earlier. So if you, I'm sorry, the Photoshop that I use is a little bit laggy sometimes when things have a lot of assets on the screen all at once. Spoiler. So if you plan on raiding at all, like if you just plan on doing weekly raids and still once again care about your raiding at all, and I'm sorry, it's lagging for me. If you care about rating at all, you should come down here, but we're going to treat it as if we don't care about rating. If you're like me and you only care about your Mythic Plus performance and you have a weapon, so you've made it down here, then I would recommend Fyrax. Go Fyrax Standard Rage Heart. We can't have it drop for us basically because we're not a tank. We're very unlikely to win the die roll on it because everyone's going to be shooting for this trinket for Mythic Plus pushing. And it's a pretty safe pickup. It's pretty safe to say that Fyrax is going to be very solid in high-end key pushing or pushing at any level. So if you care to push high keys and you want a powerful trinket that's kind of guaranteed to be powerful, Fyrax Standard Rage Heart, it's not that there's no guarantee that it's going to be like one of your top 2 trinkets, but it's guaranteed to basically be in your like top 3 or 4, if not your top 2. So it's just a safe pickup if you fall under this category, just a Mythic Plus gamer with a weapon already. However, if you're not sold on this trinket, you don't think it's going to be another Fyrax season, or I don't know, you just don't enjoy this trinket, maybe you used it all of last season and you just want to shake things up, then you can come on here to go with one of your second slot trinket picks, which we will get to, I promise it wraps around, but we're going to go back in time and pretend like we answer this question differently. So do you care about your raid healing? So maybe you are in a guild that is pushing for AOTC, maybe you are pushing a couple mythic bosses, or you're just a pug that likes your heroic raids to look well, you like your parses to look good. Then you're going to answer yes to this question. And then you see a spoiler over here, but do you have an old or new seedling? Meaning, did you get, have you gotten a seedling this season somehow, maybe from the vault already? Because I think the vault was bugged. So I've heard from some people you could get like old or any of the season's trinkets, I guess. Do you have a new seedling, or do you have one from last season? A season 3 trinket, a season 3 seedling is still great. It still does great healing. Like if you look at graphs, it'll still put up more healing than most other trinkets this season. If you don't have a seedling in your bags and you do care about your raid healing at all, go with a seedling. Grab that seedling, get that sucker. He's a good little boy. Look at him, look at that little smile. It does so much healing, and I have plenty of videos on it, how to heal it. But also I have a guide that I'm working on that will talk about seedling. But yeah, pick up the seedling if you don't already have one. However, maybe you're like me and you have a mythic track from last season or a heroic track even from last season, then getting the seedling would not be as much of a gain. You can get more from your purchase, your bullion purchase, from going a secondary trinket. And if that's the case, if you already have a seedling, or if you only care about Mythic Plus and aren't sold on Fyrax, then in either of these scenarios, you can go for your second slot trinket, meaning you intend on either having seedling plus one of these trinkets, or like maybe Fyrax plus one of these trinkets. It's lagging, but yeah, your second slot trinket is totally okay to pick up this week. And these are the three that I tested the most on PTR. And I was not sold on Whispering Incarnates until I tried it. And we had a group in PTR that ran with a bunch of Whispering Incarnates. And when you have all the buffs, this trinket is actually insane. Like, it's such a budgeted item for a trinket. It's crazy. However, if you can't guarantee that you're going to get all of these buffs from Whispering Incarnate, meaning that you don't know people that you raid with, like maybe you're a pug raider, or something like that, you can't guarantee that someone else is going to be able to share all those buffs with you, then these other two trinkets are absolutely insane. Now, Neltharian's Call to Dominance did see some changes since its last season. It saw the changes toward the end of season 2 when it was a thing, but still, it was still very good. I think it got a 15% overall nerf, and instead of being a 10-second buff window, for max value, you got a 20-second buff window for half the value, so the same amount of like stats overall, but across a 20-second window. And since this procs on our Yulon and Raid or our Chi-Ji and Mythic Plus, that 20-second duration is actually very solid because it can. It's just really good. It works with us. It helps our ramps all the way through to the end, the peak, and until it tapers off. It's really good. But then Brood Keepers is probably my favorite trinket this whole season. I love this trinket. How it works is you tether yourself to an ally, and while you two are tethered, which will last an hour or until one of you dies, you two are tethered, you are linked, and you both get a rolling hot, like y'all are just gonna keep getting healed by this hot every single second, and you both get versatility, like a nice little juicy verse. So in Raid, this is a pretty good, it's not like one of the best, it's like top 5 probably Raid healing trinkets, because that rolling hot can add up over fight. 2 people are having this heal every second, and especially the bonus is doubled if you stand close together. So if you put this on your tank as a Mistweaver monk, you'll be in melee most of the time. Or if you just, I don't know, if you know you're going to stand next to someone, you put it on them, you're both getting verse, so that's going to boost all of your healing done. You're getting a rolling hot, that's just going to add up to a lot of healing on your meters. And yeah, this is just an excellent trinket. In Mythic Plus, getting verse just makes you more survivable. You can put this on your tank, and the rolling hot can like help with, like, I don't know, bleeds or just melees that they get. And since you're a melee with them all the time, you're going to have that doubled on both of you. You're both going to be beefier because you have just more effective health from that rolling hot and from the versatility. So it's just an excellent all-around trinket. So guys, with that is going to do it for this. I try to make it quick because some people just want the quick information. Let me zoom out a little bit more. But this is what I would go with, and this is actually what I plan on following myself, is this exact thing. So for week 1, personally, I bought Fyrax first because I already have a weapon and I don't intend to raid for at least the first 5 weeks in any meaningful capacity of this season. I might join into a Mythic raid guild eventually just for the season if I get bored, but for now I'm enjoying spending Tuesday and Thursday nights either editing or hanging out with my wife watching TV. But I'm happy with my weapon for a couple weeks. I do intend on buying Broodkeeper's Promise as my second trinket for Mythic Plus, and then I think for my third purchase I will end up evolving my staff to a Seismo staff. And then from there, it's all going to depend on what gear I've gotten throughout the weeks from the vaults. It's all just going to change. But this, I think, is a fine, visual aid to help you make your decision for the first like 2 purchases that you make. Even your first 3 could be good. But by then, things might change. Some items might be balanced, so be very careful. Don't let this video be the only resource that you use to make your decision. Definitely sim your character as weeks go on. You're going to get more information from those sims. Also, look up your trinket lists. Like, I know different websites like QE Live has an excellent trinket list to show you like data on each trinket. That data does change, however, as more information becomes available. For example, Seedling was not rated very well the first couple weeks of the season, but then as time went on, more data became available, and Seedling turns out it was bugged in how it was showing up on logs. So Seedling turned out to be our best healing trinket. So yeah, let take this with a grain of salt, but I think this is good enough, and I'm actually going to post this in my Discord if you want to take a look at it yourself. So join the Discord, link down in the description below. Look, this was just something quick that kind of looks very cheap, but hey, I think it should help people since I've been asked this question like 50 times at least today. But every time I've given like this long-winded answer that I think this visual aid should also still give you. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to follow me on Twitch if you want to catch me going live so you can ask me any questions that you want. I think some people have found that out lately that I answer every single question in my Twitch, and people are really taking advantage of that. A lot of new players have come in and asked me a lot of new stuff about Mythic Plus, and they're already like hitting 2,000 IO as Mistweaver. This is their first season as Mistweaver, and just from like watching a bunch of videos, playing and practicing and utilizing having me as a resource while I'm streaming has helped them a ton. But guys, speaking of helping a ton, I have to give a special shout out to these guys on the screen because they help me make these videos. These are the patrons of this channel. I could not be here without them. I would not be here making videos without them. So a huge shout out to them. They're what carries this channel. And if you want to see your name on the screen alongside these guys, definitely check out that Patreon link down in the description because it keeps my ring light on, guys, if I'm being honest. No, but guys, I could, yap all day. In fact, I did during my stream. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.